What's going on, everybody? Bryan here with the Nerd Theory channel. There is much confusion in me, okay? Now, I know it's been a while since this topic's been brought up, but I saw something probably about a month ago at this point that has me even more confused on how I should feel about my anime adaptations. So to give you some perspective, let me go into it. Basically what happened back however long it's been, there was a picture release of Scarlett Johansson in costume as the Major for the Ghost in the Shell adaptation, the American adaptation of Ghost in the Shell. Okay, when this happened, everybody went just fucking nuts, okay? And what I mean by that is that it's like, oh, it's more whitewashing, should have been a Japanese actress, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's been a while. Then, since then, we've actually gotten the full trailer for Ghost in the Shell, and we also have gotten a trailer for Full Metal Alchemist, the Japanese produced movie that's coming out at some point soon. I'm not sure of the date. Now, when I watched the Full Metal Alchemist trailer, I wasn't really impressed with the teaser trailer, but it's just a teaser trailer, right? So it's not a big deal. But I was also kind of confused. Full Metal Alchemist, at its core, has a very European setting with a lot of American-sounding names, European-sounding names like, you know, Edward Eldrick, Roy Mustang, Winry, things like that. But they're all being played by Japanese actors and actresses, which to me, for me personally, that shouldn't be a problem. But why is nobody offended at the fact that there's Japanese people playing characters that have, you know, American, European / names, and this doesn't bother anybody? That's what's confusing me. But when a white actress plays a character that originally has a Japanese sounding name, that's not okay. But I'm going to go more into that in a second, kind of like maybe dismantle that a little bit. Probably not, because I'm not that good. But my overall question is, why do we pick certain things and say it's not okay, but when something else happens in the same vein, but kind of in the opposite way, say with Full Metal Alchemist, having the majority Japanese cast, why is that okay? Is it just because that it's a Japanese made series? Is that the reason why it gets a pass? If Ghost in the Shell had been something that was made in America, whose the main character was a Japanese sounding name, or was a Japanese woman rather, and then it was cast with a white woman, would that be okay because it was American made? I'm conflicted, or I'm trying to figure out where the line is supposed to be drawn when it comes to whitewashing in Hollywood, or anywhere else for that matter, or any miscasting in any other country. Okay, and that's the same thing. And what I'm thinking is it has to do with the name. I think it's just, what's in the name? Okay, Death Note is coming out for Netflix, the adaptation on Netflix. They changed the names to more American sounding names for that. Nobody bitched. Nobody's complaining about that. But if they change the name of Scarlett Johansson's character in Ghost in the Shell to a more American sounding name, would it then be okay to do that or not? But I sit here and there's a lot of loaded questions in this, okay? I realize that, and nobody's going to have the answer, and most people are probably not going to like this video in general, and that's okay too. But while we freak out over these things in America, you know who really doesn't give a shit? People in Japan. There's a video out there, and I was very intrigued by this video, from a YouTuber named That Japanese Guy Yuta. I'll put the link down below. Go subscribe to him. He's actually really cool. And I'm going to show you some footage about what the Japanese people, this sample of people, thought of Scarlett Johansson as the Major in Ghost in the Shell.
綺麗でも日本人がやるよりいいんじゃんって思うけどな、なんかアニメやからな、そんななんかな目の色とか確かにちょっと日本人離れした方がぽいやんな、ぽいアニメ的には、
ハードル高いんじゃないですか、なんかこの
なんでやろ。
いや、わからないですね、全く想像もつかん。そう言われてみればそうなんかなみたいな。
賛成反対っていうとどっちですか？
俺は反
反対。
対。いやまあいろんな人が、いるから、誰がやってもいいんじゃないかみたいな。
まあその人が実力があって選ばれたんやし、それはまあ仕方ないというか。
でも日本人が、でも日本人やったらまたなんか、アニメじゃなくなるくない？なあ。
いやでも僕はその批判については、いや別に日本人じゃないといけないってことないと思うし。
んまり納得はできひんけど、まあ、なんつうのキャラクターにハマってたら、その人が。
See, that's the funny thing. Like, they really don't care. They're excited that there's an American adaptation of Ghost in the Shell coming, a big budget American made, and they're super pumped for it. And like, there was a lot of confusion. It's like, why are people mad about this? Who gives a shit? And I'm starting to think maybe we need to calm down a little bit. Who gives a shit if Scarlett Johansson is going to be the major? Who gives a shit if Edward Elric, a American-sounding name character, a European-sounding character, is played by a Japanese guy? Who cares? What it comes down to, and I'm going to get into this in a second, with Ghost in the Shell, the whole point of Ghost in the Shell and its aesthetic is that if you watch the anime movie, it all comes together. Like, it's like this melting pot of different people. Even the characters in the background are Chinese, not Japanese. Also, with Ghost in the Shell, she's a cyborg. The ghost is the consciousness inside her. The shell is like me or Scarlett Johansson, okay? So who gives a shit if it's a white actress, a Japanese actress, or a Mexican actress? It doesn't matter in the context of the story. So maybe people just kind of need to calm the fuck down a little bit and just take it for what it is. If you don't want to go see Ghost in the Shell when it comes out, don't go see it! Vote with your wallet. But I started to think that maybe we just kind of need to calm down about all this stuff. If I can get over the fact that my Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite animes, is not being made with American actors, and there's a movie coming out with Japanese actor, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm sorry. I know, and I understand from a certain perspective, especially Japanese actresses, the frustration over that, and I get it. But the fact of the matter is, Scarlett Johansson sells overseas. They're not going to make a big budget movie with no-name actors all strewn out throughout the entire movie. It's just not going to happen. I hate to put it like that. It's just the way it is. And that's partly kind of our fault too for not going to see more movies that doesn't have Marvel in the title or Star Wars in the title or Pixar or whatever the case may be. Maybe if we started watching more movies with lesser known actors, maybe then they would be cast in bigger things like Ghost in the Shell, for example, or anything else for that matter. But that's a whole other topic for another story. I said story. A whole other topic for another show. I'm dumb. I know it's a loaded question, and there's going to be a lot of different thought processes on this. That's just mine. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong either. And anything that you have to say doesn't mean that you're necessarily wrong either. So that's just my thought, right or wrong. There's going to be people that agree and people that disagree, and that's perfectly fine. That's the whole point of these videos, to bring out the thoughts in people, right? Okay, so if you like this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to Nerd Theory. It's in the upper left-hand corner. There's an icon that you can just click and just subscribe, and then that's it. So, for more videos coming soon, please stay tuned to the Nerd Theory channel. I'm Bryan, and I'm out.